Tonight, we begin with a story that has shaken the nation to its core. A story that has dominated headlines, sparked heated conversations in homes and on social media, and left millions searching for answers in the aftermath of tragedy. This is a story of deep political division, of violence erupting from the fractures in our society, and of a relentless search for justice in a time when trust feels fragile and the stakes have never seemed higher. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the outspoken founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed last week in a shocking act that sent shockwaves across the country and reverberated through every corner of the political spectrum. Kirk was a polarizing figure, celebrated by his supporters for his unapologetic views and activism, yet fiercely criticized by his opponents, who saw him as a symbol of division and controversy. His death marks a chilling escalation, a moment when heated rhetoric and political animosity crossed a line into deadly violence, leaving a community in mourning and a nation grappling with the consequences. The killing has ignited a fierce and emotional debate. Some are calling it a political assassination, a targeted attack meant to silence a prominent voice, while others see it as a tragic outcome of a culture where words and actions have become dangerously intertwined. Many point to Kirk's own provocative language and confrontational style as fueling animosity, raising difficult questions about the power of words and the responsibility of public figures in shaping the national conversation. Now, the focus shifts to the suspect, Tyler Robinson, whose arrest has only deepened the sense of uncertainty and urgency surrounding the case. Investigators are piecing together the evidence that led to his arrest, sifting through a complex web of motives, relationships, and political tensions that may have played a role in this tragedy. This case forces us to confront the reality that political passion, when twisted by hatred and fear, can lead to irreversible tragedy, tearing apart families, communities, and the very fabric of our democracy. It's a story about a single act of violence, but also about the far-reaching impact it has on a nation already on edge, reminding us all of the urgent need for dialogue, understanding, and healing in these divided times. The attack happened at Utah Valley University, a place known for its vibrant student life and commitment to open discussion. On that day, the campus was bustling with students, faculty, and visitors, all unaware of the tragedy about to unfold. In an instant, the university's atmosphere shifted, turning a place of learning into a scene of chaos and fear. Sirens blared and students scattered, their sense of safety shattered. Charlie Kirk was on stage, hosting a quanda on mass shootings and transgender issues, a charged topic that had drawn a passionate crowd. The event was meant to foster dialogue, but tensions in the room were already high. Suddenly, a single gunshot rang out from a rooftop, echoing across the campus and cutting through the noise of debate and discussion. The bullet struck Kirk in the neck, sending him collapsing to the ground as panic erupted in the crowd. Students and attendees rushed for cover, some screaming, others frozen in shock. First responders rushed Kirk to the hospital, working desperately to save his life as chaos continued to unfold outside. Despite their efforts, he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival, leaving the campus community in disbelief and mourning. Law enforcement immediately locked down the campus, blocking entrances and exits to prevent the shooter from escaping and to protect those still inside. Officers swept through buildings searching for the shooter as terrified students sheltered in place, texting loved ones and waiting for news. The public nature of the shooting, during a live, widely attended event, sent a deliberate, chilling message to everyone watching, both in person and online. The forum for debate became a crime scene, with investigators marking evidence where moments before there had been discussion and disagreement. The attack shattered the sense of security on campus and ignited national outrage, sparking debates about free speech, gun violence, and campus safety. The investigation would rely on digital clues and surveillance footage to track down the killer, as authorities pieced together the shooter's movements and possible motives. This brazen act was not just an attack on one man, but a blow to the entire community. Vigils and memorials sprang up as students and faculty tried to process the loss. The shooting was an assault on the very idea of open dialogue, leaving a campus and a nation grappling with the consequences. The suspect at the center of this case is Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old whose life took a dramatic and troubling turn. Once described by neighbors as quiet and reserved, Tyler's recent years were marked by a growing obsession with political issues and online activism. Friends recall that he was once more easygoing, but over time he became increasingly withdrawn, spending long hours alone, often immersed in heated political debates on social media and internet forums. His world became consumed by political ideology, with his beliefs growing more intense and uncompromising. Tyler's social media feeds were filled with posts about social justice, activism, and calls for change, reflecting a deepening commitment to left-leaning causes. At home, the atmosphere was tense. His family was deeply divided, his father a staunch MAGA supporter, while Tyler grew more vocal about progressive issues, especially LGBTQ rights. Dinner table conversations often erupted into heated arguments, with both sides feeling misunderstood and alienated. The ideological rift within the Robinson household mirrored the broader polarization gripping the country. Prosecutors allege that Robinson's motive for the attack was rooted in a deep-seated hatred for Charlie Kirk and his conservative views. They argue that Tyler's actions were not impulsive, but rather the result of months of festering anger and radicalization. A chilling note left for his roommate read, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it," a clear sign of premeditation and intent. Investigators say this note is a key piece of evidence, revealing that Tyler had planned his actions well in advance. After the shooting, Robinson confessed via text to his partner, writing, I'm sorry, I had enough of his hatred." This message, sent in the immediate aftermath, shows both a sense of remorse and a justification for his actions, as if he believed he was standing up against what he saw as intolerable hate. In the days that followed, Tyler's behavior revealed a complex mix of guilt, fear, and ideological conviction. He struggled to reconcile his actions with his beliefs, showing signs of both regret and unwavering commitment to his cause. Robinson then urged his partner to delete incriminating messages and avoid talking to police, a desperate attempt to cover his tracks. This led to additional charges of obstruction of justice, as authorities uncovered efforts to destroy evidence and mislead investigators. His actions after the attack, nervously watching for police, deleting messages, and trying to control the story, show a calculated effort to evade capture and shape the narrative in his favor. The case paints a portrait of a young man radicalized by political conflict, both at home and in the wider world. Tyler's journey from quiet student to accused shooter is a stark example of how ideological battles can spiral out of control, especially when fueled by online echo chambers and personal grievances. Tyler Robinson's story is a window into the dangers of ideological extremism, a cautionary tale about how personal and political divisions can lead to tragic consequences when left unchecked. The case against Robinson is built on digital confessions, surveillance footage, and forensic evidence. Texts to his roommate serve as both confession and motive, directly linking him to the crime. Surveillance cameras captured Robinson walking with a concealed rifle, then fleeing the rooftop where the shot was fired. The rifle, traced to his grandfather, was found with one spent cartridge and 3 unused rounds. DNA analysis matched Robinson to the weapon. Etchings on the bullets, memes, and political slogans offered a disturbing glimpse into his mindset. When questioned, Robinson dismissed the inscriptions as just a big meme, but investigators saw them as evidence of intent. The combination of digital, physical, and forensic evidence forms a compelling narrative for prosecutors. Each piece ties Robinson to the planning, execution, and aftermath of the killing. The evidence paints a chilling picture of premeditated, ideologically driven violence. Robinson's parents played a crucial role in his capture after recognizing him in surveillance footage broadcast on the news. Faced with the unthinkable, they persuaded their son to surrender, enlisting a retired law enforcement friend to ensure a peaceful handover. Their decision prevented a violent standoff and allowed the investigation to proceed without further tragedy. The parents also turned over the murder weapon and other key evidence, demonstrating a commitment to justice over family loyalty. Their actions highlight the devastating personal cost of political extremism, tearing families apart and forcing impossible choices. The Robinsons' cooperation was instrumental in moving the case forward. Their story is a reminder of the human toll behind headlines and legal proceedings. In the end, their sense of duty outweighed their heartbreak. The family's ordeal mirrors the broader divisions and pain caused by political violence. The FBI has joined the investigation, probing whether Robinson acted alone or was influenced by a broader network. Agents are examining his online activity, focusing on a chat group where he discussed extremist ideas. More than 20 group members are being interviewed, with thousands of messages under review for signs of coordination or encouragement. The FBI is searching for evidence of radicalization and incitement, aware of the dangers posed by online echo chambers. Director Kash Patel's Senate testimony underscored the seriousness of the federal probe and the threat of digitally organized extremism. The investigation's outcome could shape how future threats are identified and prevented. The case is now a national test of how law enforcement confronts online-fueled violence. Tyler Robinson faces aggravated murder and 6 other felony charges, including obstruction of justice and witness tampering. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, citing the calculated public nature of the killing and the risk posed to others, including children. The charges reflect the gravity of the crime and the deliberate targeting of a political figure. Robinson's first court appearance is scheduled for today, with prosecutors arguing he should be held without bail. The legal battle ahead will be long and complex, with every step scrutinized by the public and media. The decision to pursue capital punishment ensures a high-stakes trial. The outcome will have far-reaching implications for justice and political discourse. The nation watches as the case moves into the courtroom. The investigation was complicated by attempts to obstruct justice, both by Robinson and others. Robinson urged his partner to delete evidence and avoid police, but these efforts failed when the partner cooperated with authorities. In a bizarre twist, another man, George Zinn, falsely confessed to the shooting, diverting police resources before being charged with obstruction. Zinn's unrelated criminal charges added further confusion to the case. These attempts at deception highlight the chaotic early hours of the investigation. The search for truth was met with deliberate falsehoods and misdirection. The case became a tangled web of lies, complicating the path to justice. With charges filed and Robinson in custody, the legal process is just beginning. The next steps include a preliminary hearing where evidence will be challenged and the case for trial established. Both sides will file motions, defense seeking to suppress evidence, prosecution defending its case. Jury selection will be painstaking, given the case's notoriety and political overtones. If convicted, a penalty phase will determine whether Robinson faces life in prison or the death penalty. The trial will be closely watched, reflecting the nation's struggle with political violence. The outcome will shape debates on justice, extremism, and the limits of free speech. The road ahead is long, and the stakes could not be higher.